world's top medical researchers accidentally stumbled onto a shockingly simple but 100% effective way to permanently eliminate the herpes simplex virus, or HSV, from your body. That's right, eliminate it forever. It's based on breakthrough medical research, something the $60 billion a year pharmaceutical industry is desperate to keep from you. The medical advancement I'm going to share with you today has a documented 100% success rate in clinical university-based studies. It takes less than 3 weeks to complete, works for both HSV-1 and HSV-2, requires zero expensive side effect filled medication, and will cost you less than $100 total cost. In just 21 days from this very moment, you could be totally free of the gnawing shame and constant fear that comes from hiding your dirty little secret from the world. You'll never again worry about a new sexual partner finding out that you're damaged goods and can't be intimate without infecting them too. You'll never again feel exposed and terrified by yet another humiliating outbreak or experience the itching, burning, or blistering that goes along with that. If this sounds too good to be true, don't worry. I completely understand. In fact, I'd have thought the same thing if I hadn't been part of the research team that discovered this remarkable cure, or if I hadn't personally used this natural treatment to completely destroy every single trace of the herpes virus in my body in less than a month. All I ask is that you keep an open mind as you watch this short video, because in the next 5 minutes, I'll give you the scientific and medical proof behind how this breakthrough treatment method works. I'll even tell you how to start using it for yourself today. So you can set a countdown timer to being 100% herpes-free in just 21 days from now. Just like 27,442 other women and men have already done. People like Janet Hawley from Des Moines, Iowa, who says,
"The worst day of my life was being told by my doctor that I had type 2 herpes. It felt like I'd received a death sentence. For the next 5 years, I lived in a state of constant depression because everything felt so hopeless. I'm so incredibly fortunate that I found this website. I'm still in shock that the treatment protocol you shared with me actually works. It seems so simple, and in a lot of ways, I guess it is simple. But the important thing is, I've been 100% herpes-free for a full 2 years now, and it's all thanks to you. You've given me my life back, and I'll be forever grateful."
And Emily Ruth of Canton, Ohio, who says,
"When I first saw your presentation, I was extremely skeptical. If there was a way to permanently delete my herpes, why hadn't I heard of it before? As I kept watching, and as you explained how your treatment worked, and revealed all the tragic truth about the evil motives of the pharmaceutical industry, it just started to make sense. That's why I decided to go ahead and try your treatment method for myself. And thank God I did. 4 months ago, my doctor literally looked at me in disbelief after all my tests came back negative, showing that my type 1 herpes was completely gone. I couldn't stop crying tears of joy. Thank you for all of your incredible work you're doing. You've saved my life."
If you're ready to join these people and tens of thousands of others just like them, pay close attention, because we're going to get started right this second. So I'm determined to share it with all the 255,200,000 Americans potentially infected with HSV-1, according to the CDC, and also give it to all the 50 million people currently suffering from genital herpes, 85% of whom are not aware they even have it. So even if you've never had an outbreak down there, you could still be carrying HSV-2 and give it to someone without knowing it. Not only that, but additional statistics from the CDC say that 776,000 new cases of genital herpes pop up every year in the United States. So I knew that we needed to share the protocol we discovered with every single person and to do it as fast as humanly possible. That's why over the next 6 months, Dr. Langwin and I ran clinical trials of our natural herpes treatment out of 479 test subjects. Every single one eliminated all traces of herpes from their body in less than 21 days. That's right. And it didn't matter if they had herpes type 1 or type 2 or both. And it worked whether they'd been infected 3 months ago or 30 years in the past. It was truly the miracle that I'd hoped for. Dr. Langwin and I recorded our findings in an academic paper to be published with the lead medical journals in the world. We were dead certain we were about to become famous beyond our wildest dreams. After all, we'd figured out a way to completely destroy one of the most common, despised viral infections ever known to man. And you better bet, we couldn't wait to get our findings out there to the world. We were in for a rude awakening. We submitted our findings to more than 15 of the country's leading medical periodicals, excited at the idea of spreading our discovery to a national level. Our enthusiasm was cut short, though, because every time the response was the same.
This is incredible. Absolutely amazing. But we simply can't publish it.
Why would these leading academics in the field of science and medicine purposely censor this information? Why would they intentionally stop it from getting into the hands of honest, deserving people? It just made no sense. Yet after having multiple private conversations with his peers and colleagues, including some of those responsible for publishing these journals, Dr. Langwin came to me with extremely disappointing news. He said the reason all of these leading researchers and doctors wouldn't publish our findings was because they were absolutely terrified of being blackballed by the pharmaceutical industry. You see, it turns out Big Pharma is the single largest funder of medical research in the United States. If you don't believe me, just look at the 5 largest funders of the American Herpes Foundation: GlaxoSmithKline, Roche Pharmaceuticals, BioVale Pharmaceuticals, Novartis Pharmaceuticals, and Reliant Pharmaceuticals. These massive international conglomerates, who are the kings of a $60 billion per year industry, have absolutely zero interest in finding a cure for herpes, or really any other disease for that matter, because they control the gold. They also get to make all of the rules, including choosing what medical research gets published or suppressed from the public. When I heard this, I was irate. Who the hell were these corporations to keep something so incredibly important, so vital from us? How could they control people's lives like this? This is your one and only chance to completely and permanently eliminate the herpes simplex virus from your body. It has already worked for more than 24,000 people. It's completely natural, completely side effect free, and will cost you a total of $100 max to use. Even more crucially, it will give you your life back so that you never have to be embarrassed, humiliated, or ashamed again. There are other medications out there, of course, but none of them actually destroy herpes once and for all. They just suppress it. So those outbreaks can still pop up again and again and again. Taking Valtrex or any similar drug is a lot like taking aspirin for a fever. In both cases, they may temporarily alleviate symptoms, but aren't actually what kills the virus. Only your immune system can do that, which is why HSV Eraser is so incredibly powerful. Plus, just like taking too much aspirin over time, taking medications for your herpes has serious and potentially devastating long-term side effects. Do you want to always feel nauseous or be balding by the time you're in your early 30s? Or need a kidney transplant when you reach 50? And still experience the excruciating pain and humiliation of recurrent outbreaks? Of course not. Yet, if you continue down the path you're on, that's exactly where those medications will leave you. That's not even considering the expensive cost of the medications, even if you do have health insurance. Or you could try those outrageously priced creams like Abreva in the drugstore. They may numb the area, but they certainly don't kill your herpes or even noticeably cut down the duration of an outbreak. Given all this information and the fact that Dr. Langwin and I hold the only known cure for herpes simplex types 1 and 2 in the world, you can probably understand why we were planning to set the retail price of our treatment program at $399. When you think about it, that's actually a pretty incredible bargain, especially when you compare it to spending between $600 and $1,200 per year on medications. That totals to be a minimum of $6,000 over the coming decade. Not to mention the fact that you'll never have to worry about another outbreak again as long as you live, or suffer from the embarrassment or physical discomfort that comes along with it, whether it's up around the mouth or down there. So really, charging $399 is perhaps even too low. But like I said, from the very beginning, this is not about making a fortune. We're going to leave that to the greedy, soulless pharmaceuticals out there, and we'll let them live with their own conscience. No, what this is really about is your freedom. It's about getting HSV Eraser into the hands of as many people as possible, so that they and you never have to feel humiliated, shamed, or anxious again. It's about escaping your life sentence and being set free, and it's something you absolutely deserve. It's for those reasons that we're not going to charge the full $399 we planned, or $199, which is obviously a steal, or even $99, at which point we're practically giving this away. Instead, if you act today through the website and choose to get the HSV Eraser program for yourself and permanently remove the herpes virus from your body in the next 3 weeks guaranteed,